very important in innovation, and technological adaptation means the innovation, right? Technology S-curve, right? Technology S-curve. Technology forecast and important for nations, the firm, public and private, to make smart decisions, the relationship between technology performance and parameters. Now, one technology we can't say that retain in the industry forever, right? That is change in systematically, right? This change in is like S shape, right? Shape is S. See, this is the technological performance and time. The shape is S. S shape means normally we are drawing S from top to bottom. According to this, we have to draw S from bottom to top. Starting, growing, peak and sinking. Right? Can you remember? According to my view, this is one step ahead from the PLC. What is PLC? Product life cycle. Right? In product life cycle, we start product life cycle is a bell curve. Right? In technology S curve, decline we not expect. Starting, growing, maturity and decline. That is the PLC. Let me explain. This is PLC. What is this PLC? Product life cycle. PLC. Right. Now we have invented one product. Right. Slowly with and this is growing and that go to the peak. This is the maturity level. This is the start level. This is growing. This is maturity and then decline. Right? Just think about BlackBerry. Started, they have introduced pager and all, and slowly that grew up and went to the maturity. 2008, decline period starts. Right? This is PLC. This is product life cycle. Right? As an example thing, traditional bulb. Right? Traditional bulb. I mean traditional bulb. With a filament. Right? Now this is invention. Right? This is invention. After that, what we are using today? Still we are using bulbs, but not this. Got it? We are using bulb, not this. Right? The very first car, right? The very first car, who introduces? Daimler. Right? Daimler invented the car. Right? He introduced the very first car, but Carl Benz innovated. What added? Right? Gearbox added, clutch, brake shoes, brake pads, many. Right? But that is not the today's Benz. Carl Benz's Benz, the very first Benz is not like today's E-class Benz. Right? That is not like E-class Benz. Okay? That is another shape. Right? We'll see that. Right? What about we are using the same car introduced by Carl Benz? No. Now Benz and the very first Benz of the Carl Benz, that is two different. Not only that, right? There are many key players in automobile industry. They have used the industrial innovations, right? Now the technologies invented by Carl Benz that are used by other automobile manufacturers too. As an example, clutch and gearbox, right? Brake shoes. Those patent goes to the Carl Benz, that means the Benz company. Those days Carl Benz's main competitor is Daimler. Daimler is the one who introduces the car, very first car. But finally, what was happened? Both brands are very popular in Germany, right? Finally, these two car manufacturers merged and they started a new company, Mercedes-Benz, right? Mercedes-Benz, that is a merge actually. Daimler and Carl Benz's merge, that is Mercedes-Benz. Okay. Now, we'll see what is the innovation. What is this? This is the very first car introduced by Carl Benz. This is Carl Benz's first car, right? This is the very first Benz car. Is today Benz car is like this? No. Now, if you see this, you can't see gearbox. There is no gearbox. There is no brake, accelerators, clutch. No. Right? This is just like theoretically. But today means that is totally different. No? Why? They are adapting with the technology step by step, step by step, step by step. Before go to the technology S-curve, right, I would like to some innovations in automobile industry. Right. This is the very first Benz car. This is the modern Benz car. This is today's Benz car. Right? This car is the modern, I think this is 2023 Benz car model, E-class Benz. Right? And we'll see another innovation. This is Tesla, the autopilot one. See, the driver has released his hands. You can see this is screen and map is there. This is the driving part. See, suddenly stopped. He's gonna brake, stop the car with the proper distance, but no driver. It is working with sensors, radars, GSP, all technologies included. The driver has released steering wheel as well as he is not actually driving. Overtakes, safely overtakes. Right? Okay. Right. Now you know what is PLC, product life cycle, and this thing. Now what happened to the very first, we'll think about the very first car of Carl Benz, started, grown, that car declines. Right? But Carl Benz didn't let to do that. He started again another innovation and invention. He's going like this. Even though this is the part of, this is the first wave of, first circle, first wave of the innovation S curve, right? Innovation S curve, this part we can say the technological development, and this is the time, right? Now start in a new technology, goes up, go to the peak, now it about decline. If I'm managing the technology in proper way, then what we are doing is we are not waiting till this level like BlackBerry, another S curve start, another S curve start. Got it? Right. As an example, this thing, this is traditional bulb, right? This is traditional bulb. I can't draw beautiful pictures, right? This is a bulb. You just think this is a bulb, right? But this went up and went to the peak. That didn't goes down. In this is you have to assume this is CFL. And LED light. This technology called development. We invented this and this and this. Electrical consumptions very high, less and less, right? And illumination high, right? That is the difference. Understood? Right? Then this S curve, technology S curve. Normally we are writing S like this. This is our S, right? But in this context, we have to write this S like this. Analyze. Here what is happening? Innovation, right? This is innovation, right? Then the technology goes same way, technology driven up and go to the peak, right? The successful entrepreneur, right, is finding another technology before company goes down. What happened to the BlackBerry? Yes, pager. Right, this is pager, right? This is curve, BlackBerry curve. After that, declines. Why? No innovation here. In technology, S curve matter. Here there was innovation, introduce BlackBerry curve and introduce QWERTY keyboard, embed the BlackBerry messenger, everything. Nothing happens here. Then the product declines. That declined. Understood? Right? Okay. This is the technology S curve. We'll see what your study text says. Right? Growth and maturity. After the maturity, definitely there is according to a PLC, product life cycle, there should be a decline, but another innovation curve to be start. Here. Another innovation curve to be start. Another S curve to be start. Okay. We'll read what they are saying. A technology forecasting is important for nations and firms, that means public and private, to make smart decisions. The relationship between technology performance parameter time effort can be constructed after several rounds of observation on changes of technology over a period of time. It gives us a shaped diagram known as technology S-curve. Evolution of computer hard disk capacity or aircraft technology S-curve. Example, aircraft speed during the last 50 years. Two examples, not cases actually, in your study text. What is this embryonic stage? It says embryonic stage, growth and maturity. A new technology is born in this stage. Right? Embryonic stage is the new the origin of new technology, starting of new technology. Right? This stage. There is a slow growth of an emerging technology. Yes, the growth is very slow. See? That is time consuming. Then go very fast. Right? The new technology born, there is a slow growth of the emerging technology, which may not be visible to outsiders in full scale. Firms engage in eliminating technology-related issues such as debugging and improving the rate of performance. Right. Now just think about Carl Benz's the Benz car. When Carl Benz is introducing this car is not capable to go or drive more than 40 kilometers. Right? That is the first car. Then there is a limit to drive. 40 miles, sorry, not kilometers. Right? But this Carl Benz's wife, Mercy, is very stubborn lady. She is very stubborn. Right? There is a proper reason to be stubborn. You know why? Carl Benz start the company by investing dowry. Then she is very stubborn. Right? Anyway, even though this car can drive maximum 40 miles, this lady is driving this more than 80. Now she is facing many problems. Right? Right. Then she can't accelerate. Right? If she has to climb, then she can't accelerate. Right? No gearbox. Right? And no gearbox, and there is no way to slow down when she is going down to the slope. Right? Then what she did? When she is going to slow down the car, right? And she is getting a piece of shoe, right? Part of shoe, and try to slow down by inserting that between the wheel and the hull. Insert that the wheel and the body, that inserted inside, and try to slow down. Today also we are saying the brake shoes, right? Brake shoes, that is known as brake shoes. Then patent goes to the Carl Benz. And gearbox, right? To gear up and go, to accelerate, right? Change the power, the gearbox introduces. When gearbox introducing, clutch introduces, then that patent goes to Carl Benz. Right? Then slowly improved. Now that is very improved car. Then that went to maturity. Now Carl Benz, if Carl Benz says now my car is very complete, then I can enjoy this market performance forever. Wrong. Again another innovation to be started, and another S-curve started after the innovation. Right? Here, in this stage, the company is supposed to solve all matters arises in the technology. Right? All matters to be solved. Right? As an example, introducing gearbox, introducing clutch, introducing brake shoes, right? Like that. Right? Today automobiles, Today, Benz, if there is no S-curves repeated in the Benz company, there is no S-class V8 we can't find. There is no V8, there is no E-class cars, right? Sometimes there is no some other, that is to the industry actually. Even though Carl Benz invented clutch and gearbox, only Benz cars use clutch and gearboxes. No. After the Benz, that was used by Daimler. But patent onto the Benz company. Right. Then technology is starting, that is embryonic stage. And the growth stage, a successful invention leads to the introduction of the technology to outsiders, and there will be an increase in the demand. Technology transfers will help the firm to further improve the technology based on the transferee feedback. Transferor's revenue increases, but additional investment is required to secure the growth and survival of the technology. Firm focus on the process innovations rather than product innovation during this stage. Progress of the technology is visible and measurable. Right? Now they can increase their revenue. Right? And maturity period, during this stage, technology reached the natural and physical limit of there is less revenue for the further improvement. Obviously, firm's cash flow shows decline trend. Now, Carl Benz also reached the maximum, the maturity level. After that, if Carl Benz stay now, right, now I am in the peak. No. What he did, he wanted to merge with his competitor, Daimler. The second part is strategies. In the previous syllabus, in the first part, we discussed about what are strategies, right? In the previous syllabus, when we talk about strategies, that study pack referred the book of Wiginton Scholars, right? But this is something different, right? 1965 Ansoft, if you can remember Ansoft metrics, right? Then the Christensen and Mintzberg, 1971. But those are actually 65, 73 and 79, 98, right? That is Porter's definition. Right, no citation from Peter Drucker, right? Okay, anyway. We'll try to understand what these citations, right? Ansoft's citation in 1965, strategy is a rule of making decisions under conditions of practical ignorance, whereas policy is a contingent decision. Business strategy is broad collection of decision rules and guidelines that define business scope and growth direction. What we have to highlight, right? This is very important in this citation. Defines the business scope and growth direction. That means the future orientation, future direction of the organization, that is defined by strategies. Then the Christensen says the strategy is pattern of objectives, purpose, goals, and major policies that plans for achieving those goals stated such way define that business the company is in or be and what kind of company it's ought to be. See, growth direction and where to be. See, what kind of company it is or it's to be. What the vision statement says, right? Vision statement says where we are going, what kind of company we are going to be. That is the slogan, right? As an example, this organization, JMC, says the pioneers of professional education. That is the place they want to be, right? All strategies they have to select for that purpose, right? Mintzberg, strategy formulation involves in the interpretation of the environment and the development of consistent patterns, streams, and organizational decisions. Michel Porter says, strategy is the broad-based formulation of how business is going to compete, what its goals should be, and what policies will be needed to carry out those goals. First, we have set the vision statement, and to achieve that ultimate goal, then we have to formulate the mission statement. Mission statement that says how we are going to be that type of company, right? Strategic decision management, right? Strategic decision refers to the scope of firm's activities, how much the firm activities, its to environment and resource capability, resource allocation, values and goals that influence organization strategy and long-term direction that the firm moves. I told you that, right? Long-term direction that the firm moves to be the pioneer in professional education, right? What else? Resource capability, resource allocation, values, goals that influence organization strategy. Right. Now these strategies we can identify in different ways. In previous syllabus also we discuss in different ways this. Right. Previously we discussed main three, but we didn't discuss that technology strategy. Right. This we didn't discuss. It's not included in the previous text, but that included why we are talking about the strategy in technological context, right? Or the technology in strategic context, right? Corporate business strategy, technology strategy. This page is blank. Please write it, right? This is operational strategy. This is operational strategy, right? Right, I will explain. Operational strategy, right? Now, organization consists main three layers, right? These actually we can categorize according to strategies, right? One is operational strategy. Business strategy, corporate strategy. Right? To explain this, we'll consider a conglomerate. Conglomerate level organization, that means we'll say a group of companies like DSI. Operational strategy is related with particular business operation, right? Strategy is formulated for marketing operation, there is marketing strategy. Financial strategy, technological strategy, information technology, and HR strategy. Those are strategies, right? Then business strategy, that is for specific business. right? Specific business, as an example, just think this conglomerate, we'll say the company is there, conglomerate is there, right? Let me draw it here. That is right, conglomerate, right? This conglomerate may be include different businesses, right? As an example, we'll say one company is there, food industry, right? They are producing foods. And there is another company that is, we'll say, textile, right? Textile. And there is another business, we'll say, that is pharmaceutical. Under this, there are different business operations. This also same. This also same. Say HR, right? Marketing, finance, marketing. Right. Now this operational strategy is formulated for a specific business entity, that is business. What are the strategies formulated for food business, textile business, pharmaceutical business, footwear business, like that. Finally, corporate strategy that formulated for the entire business. Now, strategy is formulated in this layer that is affected to all entire organization, right? That affected to the food, textile, pharmaceutical, all businesses. What are the businesses formulated in food business? Those strategies affect to only this business entity, that is affect to these operations too. What are the strategies formulated to this particular department or this particular business operations, that is affect to only those departments, those business operations? Then that is the way we are going to categorize operational level strategy, business level strategy, and corporate strategy. Right? As an example, if they are going to expand their business to another way, as an example, think logistic company. They are going to start a logistic company. Then that is affected to all these companies, right? That is adding another entity, right? Then capital to be invested by all, right? That is affect to all these business operations. That is known as corporate. Right? Then technology strategy, that is for all these strategies, all three levels of strategies, this technological strategy is affecting to all. That is technology strategy formulated for entire. Finally, the formulated the technological strategy to align with business strategies, corporate and operational strategies. Why this strategy formulated? To enhance all these business operations, to enhance the HR operation, to enhance marketing operation, to enhance the textile business, to enhance the operations of entire corporate. Right? That is the context. Corporate strategy, what business, where the business we are in, what kind of business, what objectives and performance are we, and what we are going to do. Here, operation level, what is this particular business operation, how important that operation to this particular business, and what product, what is the market, what is the product, right? That. Right? Now, this is the integration of all these strategies, right? Now, this technological strategy that is related with this, right? All these operations, corporate and business strategies are connected to this technological strategy. Business strategy development requires technology to understanding of vision, mission, values and organizing. I explained that. No? Vision and mission, formulating and understanding. Organization's vision refers to what it wants to achieve in the long term or the future, 5 years or 10 years, long term future. Right? There is no particular specific definition for this long term. Right? Long term, we can't say this is a specific mission that may be 5 or 10. There is no particular identification. Right? According to the previous reference of Wittington, Schullers and Johnson, Schullers and Wittington's textbook, they says it's supposed to be at least 5 years. Some are saying 10 years, some are saying 2 years, 3 years. Right? There is no particular identification of long term. Right? But in future, that is depend on the company to identify what is that. Right? That is depend on the organization to identify what is this long term. For one organization that may be 5 years. For one business operation that may be 2 years. For one project that will be 3 years. That is varied. Right? Analysis of external environment. Now this is, mission defines the type of business a company is in how it engage. Now we are formulating vision statement and now we are going to formulate how we are going to achieve these targets. Right? How we are going to achieve these targets. That is mission. Right? Introducing understanding customer requirement. Introducing products cater to fulfill these customer needs and wants. Right? And how it engages stakeholders, value reflects on the belief, the commitments and ethics toward the stakeholders. One can be performance strategic analysis. Right. What is this strategic analysis? These are steps. Analysis of external environment, analysis of internal environment. External environment means that may be macro or micro environment. This is internal environment, internal values, departments, right? Goodwill, capital, everything. Then we have to identify this. We have to identify this. What are the strengths, weakness, opportunities, right? We can apply any model. SWOT analysis, pestle analysis, 5-force analysis, value chain analysis, right? Stakeholder analysis, right? Many. After that, the current strategy, right? Why we have evaluated the external and internal environments, we have formulated a strategy. Right? And vision, mission, values and future performance, finally we have to evaluate current strategy. Current strategy means current mission we have to evaluate. Is this the way we are going to achieve our long-term objective? Is this the way we are going to fulfill our customer requirements? Right? Is this the correct way we are doing this? Right? Then again we have to understand that. After that we can formulate alternative strategies, right, to achieve the same target, to achieve the same objectives. We may have many ways, right? Then we are formulating all possible strategies and finally we have to evaluate all those and select what is the strategy we are going to implement to achieve our requirements. That means to achieve our ultimate goals. We have formulated in vision statement. Finally, the recommendation. We can recommend this is supposed to be the strategy. This is the way we should achieve our objectives. Above strategies can help the organization to create competitive advantage over its rival firms. Right? For that, we have to analyze rivalry, competitive advantage. This is actually the way of analyzing competition according to Michel Porter. This is known as Porter's 5 force analysis. Rivalry among competing firms in industry. Sometimes this says rivalry among competitors. The rivalry among competitors. Competitors, they are trying to go passing each other. This is a race. In the competitive advantage context, I told you that all firms are trying to achieve competitive advantage. That means they want to be few stages ahead among their competitors. Right. Then this is one force. This is empowered by another 4 forces. Altogether that became 5 forces. Bargaining power of suppliers. How far suppliers can bargain? Suppliers are bargaining to increase the price. Right? If there are less number of suppliers, their bargaining power is very high. Right? As an example, Sri Lanka's fuel market. Less suppliers, they can bargain to increase their prices. Right? Their bargaining power is very high. And if there are a large number of suppliers, then for suppliers, bargaining power goes down. Why? The customer can choose another supplier to buy their stuff. Right? Bargaining power of suppliers and bargaining power of buyers or bargaining power of customers. Customers also can bargain. Customers are intent to bargain if there are large number of suppliers. Customer bargaining power is very high. That is totally different from bargaining power of suppliers. Contradictory. Right? Bargaining power of buyers. Right? They are bargain to reduce the price. Right? As an example, just think you are going to the Sunday fair to buy vegetables. Right? Then your bargaining power is very high. Why? If you want to buy beans or carrot, there are a large number of sellers. Right? If one seller's price is very high, then you can go to another. Then you can bargain. Right? Another threat of substitute product. What we can use instead of another. If butter price is increased, right? The substitute product margarine is low. Then that is a threat. That is increasing the competition. And threat of new entrants. What is the possibility of starting new competitive business? A competitive business. As an example, for large organizations, as an example, Nestle, Unilever's, they have very less threat of new entrants. Why? Large amount of capital to be invested. Then their competition is very low. As an example, a business like a grocery shop, their threat of new entrants is very high. Right? These are 5 forces that introduced by Michel Porter. This is Porter's 5 force analysis. All are explained here.